back home, where you belong. Today, I've got a more specific message that's been coming through strongly, and I feel like it's something a lot of you need to hear right now. We're diving into some important energy shifts, and as always, I'm just here to be the vessel for what needs to be shared with you all today. I'm also going to be adopting a more flowing style in this message, allowing the energy to move and unfold naturally as it comes. So let's just relax, breathe, and let the messages guide us. The message I'm getting here is about a divine masculine energy that you're connected to, or perhaps at an important crossroads with. It feels like this energy is being presented with a profound lesson, especially if this is happening in real time, as he's being confronted with your energy. It's as though the universe is offering him a new path through your connection, guiding him towards something deeper. For some of you, this could be someone from your past, where you both reached that turning point and perhaps chose different paths. Now, this divine masculine is facing the mirror of his own karma, reflecting on what he's created in his life. He's starting to break down the layers of his existence, weighing everything against the truth of his heart, if that resonates with you. Now, what's coming through is that this divine masculine is learning some major lessons. And it's not just him, you've grown a lot through this connection too. You're stepping into your own power, realizing your worth and value, which aligns so strongly with that pile 3 energy from the live stream. There's a mirroring happening here that you might not have anticipated. It's like you're seeing reflections of yourself in him, whether it's in your personalities, your sense of humor, or the quick wit between you two, the way the conversations flow, the ease and connection. It's almost like seeing parts of yourself in him that you didn't expect to find in another person. Okay, and I'm also getting something about the color brown. Maybe he has brown hair or something like that. And I'm picking up on the energy of broken bonds, like perhaps this is someone who has been around divorces or separations, and that energy has shaped him in some way. And okay, so here's where you're at. You're either meeting this divine masculine now, in real time, at a crossroads, or for some of you, this happened in the past. Back then, you had just come out of something really binding, something that might have been karmic, heavy, and restrictive. You were ready for your own freedom, for the chance to live life on your own terms. Maybe you were looking forward to going on vacation with your friends without having to worry about where he wants to go or whether it aligns with your plans. You were stepping into your power, reclaiming your independence, and that felt so freeing. So when this man came into your life, you were in this beautiful place of take it or leave it. You were open to the connection if he was showing up with respect, if he was paying attention to you in a way that felt aligned. But you were also very clear. You're not here for any disrespect, being juggled, or any kind of indecisiveness. You were more drawn to something that felt vibrant, free, and aligned with the new energy you were embracing. If he matched your energy, you'd match it back. But if he didn't, you weren't going to lose yourself over it. You're in a space where your freedom and independence are at the forefront, and that's perfectly fine with you. You're not settling, and you're not shifting away from what feels right for you. You're fully in your own energy, and if he rises to meet you there, great. If not, you're good on your own path. Alright, so for some of you, you're standing at this pivotal crossroads where this divine masculine is being faced with a choice. There's so much chemistry between the two of you, and I'm seeing the universe light a match. There's a lot of fire here. That Ace of Wands energy. This match represents the spark between you two, but it's also illuminating something deeper. I'm seeing him holding this match, and it feels like, metaphorically, he's about to throw it, whether he realizes it or not. When he does, something's going to burn. Something old and outdated in his life is about to be set ablaze. What I'm picking up is that this match is going to ignite a pile of old, worn-out clothes, symbolizing the old version of who he used to be. I'm sensing this energy of sweat mixed with alcohol. It's like these clothes carry the scent of his past, the version of him that no longer serves his highest good. There's also an influence of a friend group or peer pressure, people who have expected him to be a certain way. He thought living up to these expectations made him cool, but he's realizing that it doesn't actually feel right anymore. The universe is guiding him toward this new, brighter path, one that aligns with who he's becoming. He's being offered the chance to grow, to mature, to transform. It's like he's being given the opportunity to let go of that old identity and finally step into a version of himself that he can truly love and appreciate. And this transformation is happening in direct response to your energy being in his life. Just as he's being presented with you, you're also being presented with him. Neither of you expected to meet someone like this. Yet, here you are, and this meeting is shaking up those old patterns for both of you. Alright, so for some of you, if this is a past connection, this divine masculine is being confronted with the choices he made with you and where those decisions have taken him. There's a pattern that's been repeating for him, and it's coming to light now. What I'm picking up is that he's in this cycle where he meets his relational needs, or what he thinks are his needs, through multiple people. I'm hearing 3 or more. It's like he spreads himself out across different connections as a way to protect himself from feeling inadequate or exposed. This is where his dysfunction comes in. It's like he's trying to minimize the risk of being vulnerable or found lacking by not fully committing to anyone. And I'm hearing that he carries this cool guy persona, you know? That energy of, I never settle, you can't tie me down. Like he's got this untouchable vibe going on. It's almost like a front, something like a Mr. Steal Your Girl energy, where he's never really invested deeply enough to be held accountable. But now, with your energy in the mix, that facade is being challenged, and he's starting to reflect on this pattern. Alright, so what I'm picking up here is that this divine masculine has been carrying this player energy, this suave, untouchable persona where no one can hold him down. He doesn't see being a one-woman or one-man kind of person as something cool, and it's like that belief has been reinforced by the group he surrounds himself with. But deep down, his soul craves something more meaningful, something real. He does want that deeper connection, but stepping into that energy is bringing up a lot of fears for him, fears around inadequacy, not being enough, and deep-rooted insecurities. To manage those fears, he compartmentalizes everything in his life. It's like he keeps different aspects of himself separate to avoid feeling vulnerable. I'm sensing that he gets his physical needs met by one person, but this connection is hidden. There's secrecy around it. Either he's keeping it hidden or they are, but it's purely physical and lacks emotional fulfillment. This person doesn't satisfy him on any deeper level. Then there's another individual who he presents more publicly, someone who aligns with all the shoulds in his life. This could be someone who fits the image he feels he's supposed to project, a girlfriend or a boyfriend who checks the boxes of what society expects from him. But beneath that surface, he's living this secretive, fragmented existence because his true self isn't fully aligned with that image. He's juggling these different personas, but the universe is nudging him toward something more authentic, toward the version of himself that can embrace real, deep connection. And with your energy in his life, those old patterns are starting to unravel. Alright, so here's what I'm picking up. There's another layer to this divine masculine situation. There may be someone else in his life, possibly someone he has a child with. And this connection wasn't something he entered into with a lot of conscious intention. What I'm hearing from his energy is that this wasn't the kind of relationship he saw as his pride and joy. It feels like it started more as a late-night connection, something that wasn't supposed to go beyond convenience. And this person, they fall into a different category than the one who satisfies him sexually. It's almost like he sees them as a step down, and there's this feeling that he doesn't really want to be seen with them publicly. What's complicated here is that this person mirrors his own insecurity back to him. They want to be seen, they want the world to know they're connected, and having a child was their way of trying to make him care more. But the truth is, he doesn't really feel that depth for them, and in some way, they both know this. Yet through the child, they're trying to hold him accountable, demanding that he care more, not just about the child, but about them too. It's a way of trying to pull him in emotionally, even though he's been upfront about not being fully invested. Now, all these people in his life, these different relationships, are karmically tied together. Each of them reflects his own fractured sense of self, his insecurities, his need for control, his avoidance of true connection. The sexual partner asks, "Why don't you love me?" while the other person just wants him to play a part, to show up for appearances and smile for the cameras. It's all surface level, but none of these connections bring real fulfillment. For some of you, this karmic cycle is coming to a head. It's like a wave building to its climax, where all these people are starting to turn on him, holding up mirrors to show him his own shortcomings. They're pointing fingers at him for the ways he's hurt them, reduced them, or used them. But what's painful here is that they're all using each other, trapped in this karmic loop where no one is truly free. They all need to release themselves from this energy by addressing their own internal wounds, by choosing something that resonates with their heart's truth instead of settling for this fragmented existence. And this is where you come in. Whether this is happening now or has already passed, you represent something completely different to this divine masculine. You are the one who brings the possibility of true fulfillment, emotionally and relationally. On some level, he recognizes this, even if he's tried to distract himself or run from it. You check all the boxes, offering what none of these other connections can. You are the embodiment of what he could have if he were willing to step out of this karmic loop and embrace something real. What I'm seeing here is that this divine masculine wouldn't hide you. In fact, he would proudly introduce you to his friends and family. There wouldn't be any weirdness about it because you challenge him in all the right ways, while also flowing with him in the ways that matter. Together, you could build whatever kind of family you desire, and it would be healthy, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The routines, the daily life, all of it would have a sense of balance and wholeness. I'm hearing the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, which really speaks to the dynamic between you two. You're his equal, his match, and I don't think he ever expected to meet someone who could truly mirror him like this. For so long, he's operated in relationships where control dynamics ruled, something that's been reinforced by societal beliefs, maybe even from living in a patriarchal system. He's learned that control and love go hand in hand, especially with his self-esteem issues. But when it comes to you, he's fearful because you have the power to truly hurt him. If you rejected him, it would be for legitimate reasons, and that would cut deep. So, instead of facing that vulnerability, he fragments his needs, getting his sexual fulfillment from one person who doesn't satisfy him emotionally, and finding a relationship partner who fits the shoulds of what society expects him to present. But this connection with that partner feels like a low hum of tolerable, permanent unhappiness. It's not the fiery Ace of Wands energy he craves. Then there's the person he might have a child with. That situation feels restrictive, almost like he's tied down by the responsibilities of contracts, child support, and the reality that this connection wasn't consciously chosen. It's like he's filling these gaps in his life, like putting out job applications to replace the roles in his life. But there's no replacing you. You're not just another person to fill a role. You're a rare combination of traits that form something greater than the sum of its parts. You check every box he didn't even know he had, and being around you brings out the best in him. He actually starts to like himself more when he's with you, because he sees himself living up to the person he truly wants to be. The longer he stays in his fragmented karmic loops, the more disconnected he becomes from his true self. It's taking no less than 3 people to even attempt to fill the space you hold, and even then, they don't come close to the wholeness you bring. His karmic entanglements are full of drama, fights, and unresolved insecurities that mirror his own issues back to him. None of these relationships hold the respect, integrity, or depth that would lead to true fulfillment. It's as if he's energetically flushing himself down a drain, building worse and worse karma because he's not treating anyone involved with the care they deserve, nor is he living up to his own standards. All of these people are playing a role in his karmic cycle, and they're not setting each other free. They're all reflecting each other's insecurities, reinforcing a toxic dynamic instead of choosing to break free and pursue what would genuinely make them feel whole and alive. Meanwhile, on the outside, he might appear to be living the high life, fun, carefree, and untethered, but beneath the surface, he's hiding this chaotic mess of unresolved issues and the universe may not allow him to keep hiding it for much longer. His soul doesn't want to fall any further into darkness. And I'm hearing that his higher self may expose these hidden truths in the physical realm, forcing him to confront the reality he's been avoiding. He's stuck in a hole of his own making, choosing a path that's leading him deeper into the dark. And if he displaced his own insecurities onto you, making you feel inadequate or unimportant, that's part of the karma he's going to have to face. He tried to control you, but that control came from his own fear. Part of his karmic lesson is recognizing the effect he's had on people, especially you. He was presented with an equal, someone who could stand on their own and challenge him in the ways that matter, but that terrified him. He's spent so much of his life trying to maintain control over others, yet in doing so, he's found himself being controlled. Whether it's by substances, drama, or even people in his life who are holding something over him, he's playing with fire, and not in a good way. The shards of glass he tried to rake you over, the emotional games he played to gain control, are coming back to haunt him. He thought he could make you compete for his attention with people who don't even come close to the connection you two share. And while every person has their own worth and value, the alchemy between you and him is unmatched. Yet, instead of honoring that, he pushed his pain onto you rather than cleaning up his own life. Now, the universe is holding him accountable. The bed he made for himself is filled with broken mirrors and shattered pieces of the relationships he's damaged. He's broken a lot in his life, especially in the realm of love and connection, but until he stops fragmenting his world, he'll continue to be at the root of his own suffering. The karmic loop he's stuck in will keep repeating until he chooses to take responsibility and face the truth about himself and the way he's been living. For those of you at this crossroads, this divine masculine might be standing right in front of that choice. Will he step into the version of himself that he's capable of becoming? Because when you meet someone at a crossroads like this, the potential is there. He has the desire, the possibility, and the chance to turn the corner and be someone different, but only if he's willing to come at you the right way. And you shouldn't tolerate anything less than full honesty and vulnerability from him. No games, no manipulation, just pure, raw truth. This man does care about you, but he needs to admit that to himself first and foremost. He needs to acknowledge the ways he's been in the past, the patterns that haven't served him, and the genuine feelings he has for you that make him want to be better. But he's got to be willing to lay it all out on the table. He has to be committed to treating not just you, but himself with respect and dignity. Because what he's doing now, this fragmented way of living, is a form of self-abuse. Now, I don't think you should feel too sorry for him. It's fine to have compassion, but don't get sucked into his whirlpool of playing the victim, persecutor, or rescuer roles. He's all of those things to himself. You need to remember your own place in this. There's a beautiful, happy horizon ahead of you, no matter what. I can feel this energy of freedom and happiness coming in for you. It's like a declaration of, I'm going to live a beautiful life no matter what happens. You're going to experience joy because you don't operate from control tactics or game playing. That's beneath you, and you know it. You would never treat another person like that. All of these people around him, including him, are caught up in their own illusions, trying to find their worth by controlling circumstances outside of themselves. They stir up fights, keep themselves preoccupied with drama, but eventually they'll want to leave the playground and mature. And that's what you want for them. You hope that eventually they'll all find their own growth and healing. Some of the people involved with him may have walked away from relationships that were actually good for them, maybe because this man is attractive, or he has a way of pulling people in. He might even use that to take what doesn't belong to him, thinking it makes him cool or powerful. But in reality, it's just feeding into his insecurity. These people are learning their own karmic lessons through him, and for some of them, this experience will help them recognize what they truly deserve when the right person comes along. You hope that in the end, everyone involved, this man, his connections, and you, gets the healing, liberation, and freedom needed from this situation. Because that's the ultimate goal, for everyone to break free from their illusions and step into their own wholeness. I'm picking up that part of this man's karmic lesson is being forced to reckon with the ripple effect of his actions. He's been used to skating through life, finessing situations, and never truly facing the fallout of his behavior. Maybe as a child he was coddled, told that his manipulative behavior was just harmless, like, boys will be boys, instead of being shown the real consequences of how he treated people. But with you, it's different. You're the first real consequence he's had to face, and it's hitting him hard. It's like he got a glimpse of what real love, real happiness could be, and now he knows he's lost it. He can't talk his way out of this, or shift the blame onto someone else this time. I see him almost standing in a room where things are falling apart around him, like a house of cards collapsing. All the little lies, all the games, the manipulation, it's all catching up to him. He's realizing that the foundation he built his life on is unstable, and as the walls come down, he's left with nothing but the truth. And that truth is painful. He's hurt the very person who could have given him the love and stability he never knew he needed. The games he played are now backfiring, and there's no easy fix for this. It's like he's stuck watching everything unravel, unable to stop it. The people he's used to manipulating aren't falling for his tactics anymore. They see through him, and instead of getting what he wants, he's being confronted with the reality that his behavior has cost him something precious. He's learning the hard way that playing games and manipulating others only leads to loss. And now he has to sit in that discomfort. Even with all of this going on, I can sense that he still has deep feelings for you. He wants to offer you his heart, and I think a part of him yearns for something traditional and stable with you. But the truth is, he's been self-sabotaging for so long, poisoning himself with these toxic patterns. He's got a lot of work to do on himself before he can even think about being the partner you deserve. Alright, so here's what's coming through. He's definitely being pushed to reflect on who he's been in the past. It's like he's swallowed the truth when he should have been expressing it, and now that's catching up with him. For some of you, this is happening now, especially if you've just met this person. And I don't want to paint too bleak a picture, because for some of you, this man is going to step up and choose a better path. There are people who start out rocky, but the love they share is undeniable, and that love can truly have a healing effect. It's powerful. But for that to happen, everyone has to show up with integrity. So, If this man decides to turn that corner, you'll see that love blossom. But I want you to stay grounded in reality. Understand that this person hasn't practiced healthy relational skills in the past, and that's something you'll both have to build and practice together moving forward. He needs to come to the table knowing that he's a newbie in this area, and you should see him for where he's at, not where you hope he'll be. In the past, he's been poisoning himself by keeping the truth inside. And even though he felt that inner turmoil, he might have carried an air of arrogance, arguing or rushing into decisions that were clearly wrong because he was denying and hiding from his truth. This has been affecting his self-esteem, and it's blocked him, especially in his upper chakras, his ability to express, connect, and align with his higher self. But now, for some of you, this man is starting to see things clearly. If you're meeting him at this crossroads, he's realizing that you've broken the mold for him. You're different, and he knows that now. He might have never expressed it before, and that's partly because he doesn't know how. He's never been in a position where he had to open up like this, to face the reality of his feelings and express them honestly. He's also beginning to understand that you are good karma for him, a manifestation of the positive energy he's been needing in his life. Now, if you don't end up walking this path together, it's okay. For some of you, this is happening in real time, and there's an opportunity here, but I don't feel like you're too attached to the outcome. You've already come out of something that was very binding, so you're in this space of take it or leave it. If it turns out to be real, that's great, but you're not going to hold on to it too tightly. You're in that energy of letting it unfold naturally, and that's where your strength lies. And if you're feeling a sense of grasping or desperation for the outcome, then this message might not fully resonate with your current energy. But overall, this puts you in a really good position, free, open, and ready to receive what's truly aligned for you. And I'm hearing that he's at a pivotal moment, standing at a crossroads. I'm hearing the phrase, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and now he's about to reap what he's sown, with the energy of the 3 of Wands. This person owes something to himself, to you, and to the people he's entangled with. I'm seeing a symbol, like a little matchbox or a book, reminding me of Project Virtue. It's almost as if he's being guided to communicate, maybe even write down his truth. Perhaps he needs to journal, reflect on the mess he's created, and then come back to you with clarity. He needs to be able to say, I've ended these third-party situations. I've broken away from the toxic dynamics that have kept me stuck and hurt others, including you. There's a strong sense that this man has thrown things at you like weapons in the past, maybe trying to make you compete for his attention, and now, if he's going to step forward, it has to be with eloquence and sincerity. No more games. For some of you, you've known this person before, and he chose a different path. Now he's waking up to the reality of who he's been and the consequences of those choices. This is his moment of judgment. He's being called to account for everything, and the universe is putting restrictions on him as part of his karmic lesson. I'm picking up on limitations around his finances or career. There's a definite sense that his abundance has been blocked. Even physically, he may no longer present himself the way he once did, and people around him are starting to see through his facade. This is all part of the karmic cycle he's in, and the message from the universe is clear. He needs to go within. His current path isn't sustainable, and it's catching up to him. If he's going to make things right, he has to start by facing the truth and releasing the patterns that have held him back. Alright, I think this is a great place to wrap things up. The energy feels like it's come full circle, and now it's up to him to choose which path he'll take. The karmic lessons are clear, and whether he steps up or not, you've positioned yourself in a place of strength, freedom, and clarity.